Of course, Batman was his usual modest self. But his victory was short-lived. Not quite the man of bats he thought he was. Just then, we were confronted by this mysterious space traveler known as General Mayhem. She demanded to see our greatest leaders. She was here on official business representing Queen Watevra Wanabi, the ruler of the Sistar system, and not someone you want to mess with, especially considering how unpredictable she can be. The Queen wanted to gather the greatest leaders and dignitaries from across all the known galaxies. She wanted them to attend some kind of ceremony that she was organizing. What was she up to? What evil plan was this? Well, we did not want to find out. So now, forced to face off with our newly arrived adversary, we had no choice but to stand our ground. Emmett felt ashamed that he wasn't able to save his friends. There was a harsh reality in his world that he had trouble accepting. After watching helplessly as they hurtled off into galaxies unknown, we both knew that we would make it our mission to get them back.
And we are back with LEGO Movie 2 video game. I ranted on and on and on in the last video about how not good this game is, but I will say that this game was provided to me for free by Warner Brothers. I thank them for that, and we're going to hopefully complain a little bit less and just talk more about how to get through the game. As I said before, though, the game's literally got hand-holding from beginning to end, so I don't really know what use I'm going to be. In the previous video, I mentioned the Master Builder brick, so that is our 9 out of 12 currently right now on the top left side of the screen, and we need to get all 12 of them to actually leave the planet and continue on to the next one. So you want to keep an eye out for those on your minimap, and a lot of them are going to be really easy to get. You literally just walk into them. Some of them will have a little bit of a puzzle, and you are going to get a good bulk of those bricks just from the quests that you have to do to complete the world. We're also going to very quickly be fighting our first boss, which is most of the length of this level, or at least half of it. And that kind of explains what a lot of this game does. It seems to vary from a couple of extremes, like extremely long level or really short level, and there's not many of them. There's like 10 levels, and they're all exactly the same as this one. You just do quests until you get to the end, and that is it. It's nothing in this game feels inspired at all, especially this boss fight just seems so out of place and like, what the heck is going on? But it's cool. The big, huge, open boss like this, it made me feel like I was playing Shadow of the Colossus in Lego form, in a very, very, very simplified Lego form. That's kind of cool. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in this game that looks awesome, but it feels like that's all it's got. That's it. We need to get this ice cream fountain here working, so what we're going to do is put out the fires with a sprinkler. I don't remember getting that in the last video, but we must have. So we pretty much have, I think, like half of the tools that we're going to be using throughout the game. We're going to get a lot more, of course, but maybe not half. I'm going to say maybe a third. This first level does give you most of them. And then he's going to eat the electrified fountain there, and then we got to jump on top of him and go inside of this guy. Once we get inside of him, that's where we get to do the actual damage of the boss. And like I said, this is cool as heck. It's like playing Shadow of the Colossus in a Lego. I mean, that's kind of fun, but why am I doing this? Like, there's no reason as to why on earth we're killing this thing, or why it's attacking us, and that's not even really well explained at the end of the game. It's sort of explained, but not really. I think this game, in a weird way, does anyone remember the Lego MMO? That game was out years and years ago, and it failed miserably, mostly because it was a Lego MMO that charged $15 a month. The same you get for World of Warcraft, and it definitely was not a $15 a month game. Anyway, I'll come back to that later. Here we got to destroy those pink, I think is what that color is, these pink things that are showing up. You gotta hit them 3 or 4 times, then some petals are gonna fall off of that flower. And this is the only boss where we actually have to hit him 3 times. Maybe we have to hit him twice. It might be 3, but every other boss we have to hit like twice. I think this is the only one we actually have to hit 3 times. Okay, so once we do that, we will head on back outside here, and he's gonna ground pound us a few times, and we just gotta wait for that to end for us to... Oh, I gotta cut something. Oh, I just realized I gotta cut something out. Okay, when that happens, I will do that, but... going back to the Lego MMO, it failed pretty spectacularly, and they shouldn't have charged any money for it monthly. They should have just charged one time, and they probably could have done pretty well if they had advertised better too. The point I'm getting at is I think this game would be a really, really good MMO. And it's not like I expect them to actually turn this game into an MMO, but I think if they took all the planets and put them into one area with only one load screen to get into it, if they could somehow do that. Other games have, I know it's possible, so they probably could. And may let you play around with a bunch of people, made bosses like this, even more creative bosses. I think that'd be a dang cool video game. It's just the only problem is this is not an MMO. It's a single player or co-op game, and it's not good at all. So I think it's maybe a smidgen bit of a missed opportunity. Now my worry is that there is an upcoming, if it isn't out already, there's an upcoming Lego game on the phone. I don't know how it's gonna play. I would be a little bit disappointed if they made it a freemium Lego game where you had to pay real life money to get studs. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Well, we'll see if it ever, whenever it comes out. My worry is that maybe they're gonna be focusing too much on the phone game to make good Lego games again. I'm assuming they're totally different teams, so it's probably not even a concern. But the bigger concern will be in the future if that mobile Lego game comes out and it does really well. It's probably going to make way more money in a month than this game, or really most Lego games have made in like 3 years. And that's just because we are stupid people and we love to pay for bright, flashy microtransactions in phone games. And that's why Candy Crush is so dang successful. That's why, probably why Blizzard's making Diablo Immortal. It's annoying, like, we're doing this to ourselves, right? So, we'll see what it's like with the mobile game, but... I don't know. I do know that that is in fact coming out, and so far this is not a good sign for how it's gonna be for future Lego games. There's probably another one coming out this year. I know, I gotta look up when these release dates are. I don't know if they recently or if it's coming, but they're smashing all of the Lego Marvel games into one Lego game, and that's pretty cool because they had like 3 different Marvel games and they were all similarly titled and it was confusing as heck, so having them all in one is pretty good. But it may not be all of them because 2 of them I think were original to Traveler's Tales, meaning that I think they made the story, I think so. And one of them was just the Avengers movies. It was the first Avengers and then Age of Ultron. It's possible that one wouldn't be in the compilation. I don't know, I'll have to look this up later. So once we damage the boss for the 2nd time, and I was right, we do have to do this 3 times, meaning that this is literally the only boss that... oh, it's so annoying. This is literally the only boss that we have to attack 3 times, unless I'm completely forgetting one of them. We need to dodge most of his attacks until he goes back into the clouds and then comes back down and gets angry with us. This is an extremely annoying part. I am not really aware of how to dodge this sweeping attack unless you're down on the lower platforms. I don't think there's any other way. And we need to work our way all the way to the left. And the movement in this game is kind of a pain in the neck because you start moving really slowly and then a second later you start moving really quickly. So it is water. That should be a sign that you need to build a generator. I built a thumper, which was a mistake, and then I got hit by this thing and tossed all the way to the side, and then he's going to do it again. So we need to go back to the generator, if I could get to that, once he's done abusing me, and then once I put all my pieces back together. And once we build the generator down, we got to get him to do his sweeping attack one more time, which is just a matter of waiting, and that will damage him for the third time and allow us to climb on top of him. Now, it's a little bit interesting to me because looks like the generator didn't build. I remember that happening. That was really weird. Okay, now it's a little bit weird to me that... See, where the heck am I going? Like, I said there were no glitches. There were a few. Anyway, what the heck was I talking about? Alright, this is the only boss that you have to attack 3 times inside of him internally to defeat him. And it feels like that with every other boss that we fight, you could... Like, it feels like it could be set up to where you do have to, in fact, fight him for 3 times. But it's almost like they reduce the number of times that you have to attack the other bosses to 2, just for the interest of saving time. I don't really know. I don't know. I wonder if they realize it just went on too long with this first one or what. But this first level just throws you right into this guy. No explanation whatsoever as to why we're fighting him, why he's attacking us. No declaration of attack or anything like that that normally comes with an invasion. It's just, it is all explained sort of well at the ending. It's just so jarring, and that's kind of the weirdest way I can describe this game, is the whole game is just so unbelievably jarring as to how low in quality it is compared to DC supervillains. Alright, well, we gotta get inside of him, and once we actually defeat him with this final hit, we're not going to be totally done with the level yet. There's going to be a few more things we have to do, and then it's just a whole bunch of kind of here's how you get started tutorial stuff. So I think I'm going to end my narration here. We'll continue on in part 3 of this walkthrough, and I will see you in the next level.
Wow! You did it! You defeated the invader! I guess now you're free to head to Sispockle.
So, with that little problem taken care of, we decided to continue on our way back to the city. So, General Mayhem dropped her sticker gun, huh? Perhaps we can find a good use for it.
Hey! The route to Apocalypseburg is just beyond this door. To open it, you'll need to fill the machine with masterpiece.
Huh?